spirit which is of God, that we might know the things which are freely given to us of God. He said, with things we speak, not with words which man's wisdom teaches, but words that the Holy Ghost teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. He said, the natural man, which is the carnally minded man, the man that is based only on logic, he said, receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. And if you go to Romans 8:5-6, he said to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. The second corruption of the soul is carnality. There are people who, they are either thinking evil or they are thinking only at the level of logic. So they cannot enter the realm of faith. And you'll find out that 80% of their life is routed into the path of faith. He said they just live by faith, but the guys living by logic. And worst case, carnality, thinking evil only. Number 3, corruption of the soul is selfishness. There are people that only think about themselves. The Bible said if you have raiment, you have food, you have where to lay your head, he said you should be content with it. There are people that cannot think about anybody else. It is me, I, and myself. So they become too small for God to give them his assignment. Because anything God does is either global or transgenerational. From Jerusalem to Judea to Samaria to what? Uttermost part of the earth. And whatsoever the Lord doeth, it abideth forever. A selfish man cannot power an agenda that will be global and transgenerational. Do you know what it takes to have something transgenerational? It means you will invest in people, and the impact will be so strong on them that they will tell it to their children and their children's children. So for many generations to come, what you did for them would have blessed many generations of their family. But how can a selfish man do that when he's thinking only about himself? There are people that if you didn't show up, they will not be educated. And you didn't just show up to educate them. You educated them when it was difficult. But now that you have educated them, the education has opened the door for them. That door now brings them to an opportunity. And then on the strength of that opportunity, they become empowered. And so their children are empowered. Guess what? The outcome of the generations of that family is tied to that sacrifice you made to pay the person's school fees. So those who are selfish can never have global or transgenerational impact. And the devil knows that. The Bible said in Isaiah 60:15, it said, you were a desolate land, no man went through you. I have made you an eternal excellency, the joy of many generations. So the way Satan stops you from becoming the joy of many generations is to plant selfishness into your mind. The moment it's about others, you are offended. But when it's about you, you are full of excitement. Number 3, corruption of the soul is pride. And when I talk pride, I talk both pride and pride of life. Now, they are different. Pride is putting your trust in yourself, and on the strength of that, becoming lifted or high-minded. Pride of life is defining your values based on what you have. Both of them are poisonous. We were not built to depend on ourselves. The Bible said it's not given to man that walketh to order his steps. Now, God is not saying don't be wise, don't be prudent, don't be hardworking, don't be productive. But it's telling you that whatever you do, remember the Lord your God. It is him that giveth thee power, not just to get wealth, but to succeed in everything you are doing. So I study, I have a high IQ, I pass exams, I'm creative, I am productive. I will never say so of myself. He said, tell them that are rich in this world to be not high-minded or trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God that giveth to every man liberally that he may enjoy. Watch, let God remove grace from your life. you will see how helpless you are. Even the empowerment you are talking about, God is the one strengthening you. Paul said in Philippians 2:13, it is God that worketh in me, both to will and do of his good pleasure. If you get to that point where you say, it is by my own strength, the Bible calls you a fool. That's the calamity of the rich fool. He said, I have walked, I have filled my barn, now I will rest. And God said, tonight your life will be summoned. Since you think you are so strong, we will call you back to heaven. And he went to heaven and discovered that even the ability he had was the ability of God. So pride is corruption. But unfortunately, that's what defines humanity. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. Or the person has something little and it becomes a peacock. A man's value is not in the multitude of his possession. You are bigger than your watch. You are bigger than your car. You are bigger than the clothes you are wearing. You are bigger than your bank account. That's why you are the one that owns those things. Those things don't own you. But when pride of life overtakes you, you are no longer the owner of your property. Your property is your owner. And we see many people that their planes own them. Their cars own them. Their watches own them. Such people, they are suffering from a corruption that is in the soul. They may have so much, but they are small. Where it matters, they have no value. Number 5 is wickedness. There are people that think only evil about others. When you succeed, instead of celebrating with you, something goes off inside them. Look at that one. That's how they do, and they go nowhere. Don't find yourself in that place where you are not sincerely happy about the progress of others. You may not have yet, but by offering another man's candle, yours won't come on. In fact, they hope that yours might come on fast if it's your neighbor's own is lit. Because you are struggling in ministry, nobody else should do well. They start to say, look at them. They didn't go through process. When did they start? Because you are not married, nobody should be married. The moment somebody is celebrating and planning for marriage, you lock the door, you start crying. God, look at me. Look at me. Why am I like this? So somebody else's success haunts you. Something is wrong with your soul. Because you have not built, nobody should build. In fact, some people are in their best mood when all of them sit down and nothing is working. They are crabs. Let's all cry together, but nobody will rise. If you want to rise, they will use all their strength and pull you down. Somebody did an experiment, put crabs in a basket, no one went out. Not one. You try to go out, your colleagues will pull you back. All of us will die here. So we are comfortable if we all die. But if one rises, then the rest gang up against that one. He said there's no place for the wicked. If you allow evil enter your heart, it will kill you. You will die from inside. Why do you think sicknesses like high BP is on the rampart now? It's not Satan. They went on Instagram, saw all their schoolmates doing well. And because their schoolmates are doing well, they are no longer doing well. Even the one God is helping them, they now hate it. A pastor has 200 people in his church, but because he saw that his friend who started ministry has 2,000, he comes to church and hates the whole 200 he has. It is called evil, it's wickedness. And the danger of wickedness is that it will kill you. You think most of the messages we are preaching today is revelation? They sit down, gang up, speak evil about people, and they come to the altar, make it look like Rema. Nobody talks about those who are not succeeding. But if you are doing well, make one mistake, they will amplify it. Number 6 is religion. Dead works. Serving a spirit by the energy of the flesh so that you take glory for it. Trying to please God by your own ability, not by his grace. That was the undoing of the Pharisees. They pray long. They stand by street corners. Prayer for them is about length, not about relationship, not about advancing God's agenda. See that we are warriors. And Jesus despised them because it was about self, not about God. They wanted to score points with God. Never find yourself where you are religious. Everything we do here is the assignment God has given us to do, and we do it by the grace given to us. If you come here and you think it's because you are better, that's why you are doing it, you have entered religion. And it's called dead works. And if you think I'm doing it so well by my ability, God should notice, you are in trouble. Why God appreciates what you are doing and will reward you, you must understand that we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency might be of God and not of man. You will become like the Pharisees. And then number 7 is distraction. And distraction looks as though it's not a sin, but it's one of the most dangerous corruptions of the soul. The percentage of people who are going nowhere because of distraction, they are enormous. That's why you see people, some talented, give them time. I watched a race competition between a rat and a tortoise. When they started, they held them at the beginning, and when they left them, the rat took off. Oh, the rat could run 20 times faster than the tortoise. But guess what? The rat will go straight, go right, go left, come back. The tortoise was moving like this. It's an ancient creature. It's an ancient creature. The tortoise. The rat will overtake, come back, go. After a while, tortoise cross finishing line. The rat is still running till today. That's the undoing of many. 1 Kings 20 verse 39. A parable was told by a prophet to a king. He said, my Lord, I was in battle, and a man came to me and gave me a man and said, keep him. You lose him at the expense of your life. He said, but as I was busy here and there, I lost him. There are those who are here and there doing nothing. You are doing wedding, they show up with suit, looking for seats where relevant people are, and then they sit down, cross their leg. What did they happen now? What did they happen? What did they are watching football, they are there. They know. See, the word calls them jack of all trade, master of none. Anyone you are doing, they are in front. Something inside them won't let them rest. Peacockish kind of people. And they end up not winning anywhere. If you will have dominion, you must be focused. It doesn't matter what you have. Talent and grace is useless where there's no focus. Now quickly, let me show you the dangers of distraction. This message you are hearing, I pray you get it. Otherwise, 10 years later, we will meet ourselves. Some will be at the top, some will be below. You will be at the top. When we teach like this, pay attention. These are prophetic utterances. We talk as watchers over generations. I didn't come here as a Bible scholar. I came here because a burden was put on my spirit. And many people have missed many Kairos moments because they lack focus. That's why their lives become an abomination. They say, I see princes trekking while beggars are riding on horses. It's an abomination under the sun. But one of it is because they missed their visitation. They don't know how to focus on life and destiny. They allow distraction rob them of the many things God has given them. Now, look at 5 dangers of distraction as we get into focus. Number 1, distraction makes you lose your destiny and your inheritance is in God. Everything God gives you. Look at Samson. Anointed so much with the jawbone of an ass. Samson slew 1,000 warriors. No weapon. A jawbone of an ass. When they provoked Samson, the Bible said Samson took the gate of Gaza on his shoulder and climbed the mountain and put it there. Samson was able to catch 1,000 foxes, tie them tail to tail, set the tail ablaze, and release them to destroy the farm of the Philistine. How did he hold 1,000 foxes? A man that powerful, a man that invincible, a man that anointed, allowed one woman to distract him out of destiny. And the Bible said, some scriptures, if you read them, stop and pray, Lord help me. Judges 16 verse 20, when the woman succeeded in barbing his hair, it said, and he wished not that the Spirit of the Lord had left him. He lost his strength, lost his eyesight, lost his destiny. A champion became an object of mockery. They plucked his eyes out and they brought him to the arena and were mocking him. A judge of Israel. Because of what? Distraction. He couldn't take his eyes off Delilah. Anything that will cause your gaze to leave your destiny, they are uprooted from your life tonight. Mighty evangelists have fallen. Because the thing is that even the Delilahs don't know what is pursuing them. It's when you fall that they now discover, why am I doing it? And then you see most of them come out and say, I want to confess. When they have grinded your destiny. This pastor, the other day, your hair will not be cut off. No. That dreadlocks will keep growing. The guy had 7 dreadlocks. That's the 7 spirits of God. Something walked in the fullness of the 7 spirits of God, but distraction grinded him. It doesn't matter how anointed you are. It doesn't matter the gift you have. It doesn't matter the grace on your life. If you are not focused, you will go down. 7 dimensions of the Spirit of God ended on the lap of a woman because he couldn't focus. Distraction. Number 2, distraction opens the door to sin. There are people that God has delivered, have empowered, have commissioned, but they will not take off distraction. Look at what was said about David. These are the best, the finest in the kingdom. It was David that said, by my God. Oh my Jesus. By my God, I ran through a troop. As one man, he could take a troop. By my God, I leaped over a wall. He said, the Lord teaches my hands to fight and my fingers to war. The man fought 66 battles and won all, but distraction killed him. This was the guy that said, they have gathered around me and said there's no hope for me. He said, but thou, O Lord, you are a shield for me, my glory, the lifter up of my head. This was the man that was compelled to the kingship of God. They called Jesus the king in the order of David. They compared David's army with the host of God. That means they called David Sabaoth. They said daily men joined themselves to David. until his host became like the host of God. But in 2 Samuel 11 verse 1 to 2, the Bible said, in the days when kings went to war, where was the warrior? When David died, they called him the sweet psalmist of Israel. The sweet psalmist. David could play his flute and cast out devils in a time when nobody knew that demons could be cast out. With flute, demons knew David. With a stone, David brought Goliath down. But the Bible said, in the days where kings went to war, David was on top of the roof and he was looking upon a naked woman. And from there, David plotted with Joab to kill one of his own generals. Iniquity had entered the camp. The Bible says, blood shall not depart from your family. Blood. He created warfare for many generations because he opened the door to sin. What God has given you, you won't lose it all. And you will not use your hand to open the door to sin. You'll find some Christians, they say they are born again, but their phones are filled with secular music. And then they allow demonic energy and frequency to saturate them. The next thing, they are looking for a club. Before you know what is happening, they are hooked up on alcohol. Before you know what is happening, they are falling on the bed with a strange woman. And glorious destinies become an issue of trusting God for mercy. Every door of iniquity opened into your life, today we stand by this anointing and we shut it down.